Today we're at Rattlesnake Bar. It's not a bar, but it is an old mining town slash, mining location where they would do all kinds of hydraulic mining and sluicing, and there was even across the river there was a cave. It was called, what was it called? Can't remember the name of it, but I'll tell you in a few minutes. This area, geologically speaking, is a lot of old, what do you call that? Volcanic, what do they call it? Metamorphosed volcanic flow. It's volcanic mud, basically. And old seabed from, way back in the day when California was an ocean. It's an ocean now, just an ocean of a different type. We won't go there. Let me tell you where we are, first of all. I said a Rattlesnake Bar, but what does that mean? This is actually like an overflow little area, but this is on the way. If you here at the water, if you go left, that's the North Fork of the American River. So if you go that way, you get to Auburn. And if you go that way is Folsom Lake. Actually, this is the beginning of Folsom Lake. It's where it kind of starts to become a lake, which is why we have this overflow areas. This all used to be, wild nature land, but then they had to flood it in 55, 56, 1955, 56 time frame. I love that outcrop over there. That one right there. Isn't that a neat formation? And you can see in that hillside over there layering of like the old seabeds and stuff. But I really like that one over there. It's just cool. I'll have to see if I can get over there. Let's see. This is kind of cool because there's not a soul here but me. It's really kind of nice. There were, a few minutes ago, a lot of people on the lake. Some people were doing that little thing where you stand up and paddle. What do you call that? Paddle boarding. And there was a couple of boats over here playing some really loud music. So I'm glad they went away because otherwise I'd have to find a way to edit it out. Let's get down here for a second and see if I can accidentally get my feet wet. Looks like it goes fairly deep pretty quick. Yeah, this is very cool. Whoa, hello. Ooh, yeah, it's nice and cold. Yeah. Oops, hello. Guess what gave out on me? But my foot didn't get wet. Yay me. Yeah. Can you see down in there? That's really clear. That's cool. And I forgot my fake GoPro, so I can't jam it in the water and see what's under there. Let's go up here a little bit. See, this looks like mud, but it's not. It's actually really super rough granite that is in the process of falling apart because it's been underwater at some point and wow, it sure is pretty out here today. It's perfect weather for hiking. And at the moment I'm not technically hiking, I'm just kind of meandering as the case may be. So yeah, it's cool. Well, we were just over there and over that way. We came down originally. The parking lot's way up there. Came down, went over there a little bit, come over here. I thought maybe we'd go up here and see what the view is. Yeah. I don't know how bad the wind is for the microphone, but I'm trying to cover it up so it's not so bad. So Rattlesnake Bar was actually, I think I may have already started this. If I did or not, I don't remember. I started it, but I don't know if it'll make it to the cut. So I'm going to just tell you this again, possibly. Or maybe this will be new information. This It used to be a really busy mining town. They used to be a, what do you call it, a saloon and a hotel and a farrier, all of the stuff that, the requisite stuff that you need to have an Old West town. It used to be here in this area, and this is the south side of Placer County, and across the river is the northwest side of, what do you call that, El Dorado County, and it used to be on both sides. But back in the day, and I don't know where this actually is, I think it's up there more. Back in the day, there used to be a bridge, a suspension bridge that was built in the 1850s, I think it was, that went from this side to that side, and this Rattlesnake Bar Road continued on. Actually, it could be over there, because the old Rattlesnake Bar Road used to be at that side and went across that way. I'm not 100% sure where the old bridge used to be, though. But when the water is really low, 3/4 full or so, you can see the pilings for the old bridge. But there was a guy here, an outlaw, because you have to have an outlaw. And his name was obviously not one that was made fun of back in the day. But this guy, his name was Richard Barter, Barter. And he was known around here as Rattlesnake Dick, because his name was Richard. And he was born in Quebec, Canada, around 1833 or so. And he came to California in 1850, which was a year after the big old, let's go to California and make money on gold stuff. And he was already kind of, not the most upstanding citizen when he came here, and he continued in his ways. So here, let me sit down here and I'll tell you about Rattlesnake Dick. Hold on a second. So Rattlesnake Dick from Quebec, Canada, 1833. In 1850 he came to California. When he was 20 years old, he was accused of horse stealing, although now it appears he was innocent. He was even sent to San Quentin, which is a maximum security prison in California, for 2 years. Well, it's still a maximum security prison, and he was sent there for 2 years. After his release, suspicions followed him, so they figured out that he really didn't steal the horse, but he was still accused of being a horse stealer, horse thief. He finally turned to the life of crime. He was involved in sluice robberies and stagecoach robberies, but not the one that old Joe was shot up in Forest Hill. He held up a Wells Fargo Express stage, and he and his gang made away with $40,000. That's a lot of money, and I don't know if that's, adjusted for current money, or if that was $40,000 back in the day, because that's a lot of money. It was probably $40,000 back in the day, because it was gold, mostly gold. And he supposedly buried another $40,000 somewhere around here, but nobody knows where. He was caught and put in Auburn jail with part of his gang, and they escaped. Of course, they always do. They have to do that. That's part of the deal. So then, in July of 1859, word circulated through Auburn that Dick and a companion had just passed through Old Town Auburn. I don't think I've taken you to Old Town Auburn yet, but I probably will at some point. But anyway, a posse was quickly formed and set out in pursuit. And Deputy Tax Collector George Martin, Under Sheriff George Johnston, and Deputy Sheriff William Crutcher took off after him. It says a gunfight ensued. It always has to do that, right? And this gunfight that ensued is actually near what is now Raley's, which is at the very beginning of the Auburn side entrance to Forest Hill. And I've been there, I've seen the sign. In fact, I probably, if I remember when I leave here, I'll take you up there and show you that there's a marker there that says this is where this gunfight took place. So there was a shootout. It says, a gunfight ensued near what is now Rayleigh's, and Martin was shot dead. Martin was the deputy tax collector, and he was shot and killed. So the next, say both Dick and his companion were wounded. So him and another bad guy were wounded. The next morning, a stage driver discovered Dick's body. He had 2 bullet holes through his body and 1 through his head. It is now believed that he committed suicide after being wounded. So this was before the days of suicide by cop. But he apparently shot himself in the head after he was wounded because he wasn't going to go back and get caught. So I think that's kind of an interesting story about, you know, this area, because when you look at the area now, it's just all, you know, it's a state park, so it's not a big deal. In fact, there's 2 people and a dog over there the dog's running around, and they're wandering around on that side of the river. But here comes some ducks. Hi, duckies. Yeah, so let me show you more of this place. And I'm going to see if I can get over there to that weird formation that I saw. So hold on, let's go. This is pretty funny. Look at all of the what do you call it, heron tracks along here, right next to some dog. little bitty puppy prints. Oh, look, here's some more little birdies. I think those are the ones that, you know, those little what are those called? Killdeers. The little ones that run along and go beep 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 in the water. Really long, skinny legs. Not at all like me. Let's see. You know, I have a sinking feeling this is going to be really muddy. Surprise, it is. I shouldn't be squashing around. A lot of these piles of rock, these little cobbles and all that stuff piled up and everything, that's all mine tailings. I mean, that doesn't happen naturally, obviously. Oop, hello. I'm slipping. But that's all mine tailings from all of the mining activity they had down here. Whose little feet are those? They're really squishy. I don't know. Who left that? Yeah, look, there's that weird formation. Isn't that the coolest thing? I think it's neat. And a ginormous pine cone. Look at that. Clearly it didn't drop off of a pine tree around here, since there are none. So it floated over here, or somebody brought it over here. Probably floated over here when it was full of water. Nice. This is what you'd call conglomerate. It's all of the different mixture of different types of rock and stuff that gets cemented together with that, you know, that clay, that hard pan clay. And it's, oh, hello. It's very cool. Yeah, see? You can see the different layering in that. Nice little layer of conglomerate, nice little layer of probably granite, from what I'm guessing. I know there's limestone around here in the area. Not right here. But look, I mean, geez. Old seabed stuff. That is just too cool. If you like rocks, it's too cool. If you don't like rocks, you're like, all right, move on. Let's go. I'm done. Sorry, it's bumpy. I know it's bumpy. Look at that. I bet there's... Yeah. You know, back in the day, I used to know... You know, you look at that one rock. How long has that rock been stuck in there? You know? When you think about that, millions of years, you know. because it didn't just happen. Let's take it back. You broke it, you buy it. There's a lot of serpentine veins around here too. Not here in this specific spot, but in the area. Serpentine is really cool. I really like serpentine. It's green and shiny and it feels kind of soapy almost. And it's where asbestos comes from. And California always has signs up that say asbestos area. Yeah, mine tailings all over the place. Look at that. They're just everywhere. In fact, if you go I'm trying to watch what I'm doing, walking, and do this too, but down that way, like I said, it's Folsom Lake, and on the other side of that is Highway 50, and it goes up to Tahoe. But on the side of Highway 50, frequently you'll see, in one section especially, is just huge mounds of cobbles from the mining. There's that formation that we were just looking at, and over the hill is where we were kind of hanging out, and up there on that hill is where the car is, except you have to go around the mountain to get up to it. So I'm trying to keep the wind off the microphone a little bit, but I don't think I'm succeeding. So nice piece of glass. I'm gonna have to pick that up on the way back up the little hill here. I sure would have liked to have seen this before it was a mining site for all the cobbles and stuff, and then before all of the lake filled in, because, you know, I'm just not a fan of that. Just let nature be nature, you know. But it's still pretty. Oh, this decomposed granite. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Decomposed granite. So, it's very cool. Very cool. Very pretty down here. And it's quiet. Except for the boats that go by with their loud music sometimes. But for the most part, it's been pretty quiet. Hopefully it's quiet for the right reasons. Okay, where'd that piece of glass go? Hold on, let me find that piece of glass. Oh, wait, here it is. Let me find that piece of glass. Take it out of here. See, people? Leave stuff. That is pretty thick, too. Bottom of a beer bottle. Take your trash with you. Back in the 70s, early 70s, there used to be a commercial series that they had out with this supposed Indian chief. I can't remember what his name was. Any other day of the week I could tell you, but right now, can't remember. Chief somebody, who used to stand by the roadside overlooking the freeway, and all these people driving down the road flinging their soda cups out the window, and he had the single tear running down his cheek to say, "Don't litter." Nice little outcropping of stone that's separated in there. Jet skis. And all due credit, also, I didn't mention that this all used to be part of the Nissen and Maidu area. It was huge. The area was huge. On one of the videos recently, I think it was the free flow at the river. I may have put a link down below that video that had a little map that showed the area the Nissen used to occupy. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because one of the streets around here is Maidu Drive. Anyway, I thought I spent like the last 15 minutes picking up yet more glass, people. And I thought I would check the little area right there just to see this little area of water, just to see if there were any fish hooks and stuff. And there weren't, thank heavens. Even though this is a state park, so far there is no law against magnet fishing, because I've asked the rangers before and they said not that they're aware of, so that's good with me. But I could tell there's not much in there because it's so clear. Just as a point of reference, if you do decide to come down to Rattlesnake Bar, there is one lone happy little porta potty over there, which, despite what it looks like on the outside, is surprisingly clean. So I think people are actually showing up. I mean, there's like 6 or 8 cars here. So we can actually head out of here, and I'll take you up to Rayleigh's and show you where Rattlesnake Dick had a shootout with the sheriff, and that's not exactly where he died, but that's where he had a shootout. So let's go see. Look at that pretty little meadow back in there. I'm on my way out of not Mammoth Bar. Where were we? Rattlesnake Bar. And I just passing by this. Isn't that a pretty little meadow? I noticed over there, just on the side of the road, is a little trail that goes straight down and then around and through there. I think it's a horse trail because it had a little picture of a horsey and, you know, the little guy on the riding it. So look at that. It's a pretty little meadow down in there. I call it a meadow, but it's just a grassy hillside that will be weeds in no time at all. What you doing, guys? Aren't you cute? You're so pretty. I'll come over there and play with you guys. Well, we made it to the Rayleigh's parking lot where that monument is that I said that I'd show you. The Junction House, an early hotel and stage thing. Anyway, this is a scene of the death of Rattlesnake Dick, famed early day outlaw, fatally wounded in a gun duel with law officers. It doesn't say anything in here about the sheriff being killed, and that he wasn't actually killed here. He was wounded here, and he ended up dying by his own hand somewhere else. We don't know where. Well, somebody knows, but I don't know. Let's put it that way. But if you go down that way is where we were for Rattlesnake Bar. If you go that way is Forest Hill Bridge and Forest Hill. The canyon is down in there. If you go that way is Interstate 80, which goes that way to Sacramento and that way up to Truckee. If you go over the freeway, there's parts of Auburn. This is all Auburn area. And if you go up that way is Canyon View or Canyon Rim Trail. I can't remember which one it was, but this one's Rayleigh's parking lot now. So, yeah, that's where we are. Well, that was it. That was Rattlesnake Bar and the Junction House Monument and the Rayleigh's parking lot. Rayleigh's is a grocery store in Northern California, and there's Rayleigh's in Bel Air, and this Rayleigh's is actually the one right next to the Forest Hill Bridge entrance, you know, to get down up to Forest Hill. So this area, like I said, is about 10 miles from Rattlesnake Bar, where Rattlesnake Dick used to be a bad guy. And this is where he was wounded, and they didn't say anything, like I said, on the monument. They didn't say anything that that's where the Deputy Sheriff Martin, or Under Sheriff, I can't remember which one it was. Anyway, Martin was killed. I don't know where they found Rattlesnake Dick after he'd been wounded, but apparently he had ended it himself, which, given the medical care of 1859 or 56, whenever that was, probably would have been better to end it yourself than to let some doctor do it for you. So I guess that's about all for now. I don't know what you got out of that besides a good nap. So if you could, like and subscribe or leave a comment or something to let me know you were actually there, that would be nice. And I guess I'll go and leave you in peace, and I'll come back later with another video. I don't know where or what, but we'll find out. So thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you later.